The arena of eternal champions had witnessed 1,000 species and 10,000 battles across 3 millennia. Carved from the crystalline heart of a dead moon, its translucent walls reflected the dying light of 7 suns, casting prismatic patterns across the combat floor. Today those walls would witness something unprecedented. Marcus Chen stepped onto the arena floor, his simple human clothing stark against the elaborate armor and biomodifications of his opponents. The crowd of assembled galactic species fell silent. Chittering Vex delegates pointed with their blade arms. Towering Korath warriors rumbled disapproval through their chest cavities. The serpentine Silthak coiled tighter in their observation pods. The human wishes to participate? Chancellor Vorthak's voice boomed across the arena, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. The Altarian's blue-scaled face twisted in what might have been amusement. The Tournament of Champions has been held for 3,000 years. No species may enter without proving their warrior heritage. Marcus adjusted his simple earth-made jacket and looked up at the Chancellor's platform. Humans have been at war for our entire recorded history. We've fought each other, our environment, disease, starvation, and the vacuum of space itself. I think that qualifies. A ripple of laughter echoed through the arena. The current champion, Gorthak the Destroyer, stepped forward. Standing nearly 12 feet tall, the Korath's rock-like hide was scarred from centuries of battle. Crystalline spikes jutted from his shoulders and knuckles, and his 4 arms ended in claws that could rend steel. Little soft skin, Gorthak's voice resonated like grinding stone. Your species has been in space for barely 100 of your years. I have been undefeated for 4 centuries. I have killed representatives of 47 species in single combat. Marcus nodded respectfully. Impressive. But I only need to beat one. The preliminary matches began. Marcus watched as warriors from across the galaxy demonstrated their species' evolution toward perfect killing machines. The Vex moved like liquid lightning, their blade arms carving through combat drones in microseconds. The Silthak Constrictor champions crushed armored targets into powder. Energy-based beings from the Quantum Collective phased through matter while channeling devastating force. When Marcus's turn came, he faced a mid-tier Korath warrior named Brechthal. The alien charged with the force of a meteor, 4 arms reaching to grab and crush. Marcus stepped aside at the last possible moment, using Brechthal's own momentum to send him crashing into the arena wall. Before the Korath could recover, Marcus had somehow positioned himself behind the massive alien and struck a precise point at the base of his skull. Brechthal collapsed unconscious. The arena fell silent again. Impossible, whispered a Vex observer. The human moved faster than our visual tracking could follow. But Marcus had barely begun. In subsequent matches, he demonstrated fighting techniques that defied everything the galactic community understood about combat. Against the lightning-fast Vex, he somehow anticipated their movements, staying 1 step ahead of attacks that should have been unavoidable. Against the energy beings, he used the arena's own crystalline structure to redirect their attacks back at them. Each victory brought him closer to Gorthak, and each victory revealed more about human capabilities that had been hidden from galactic view. The crowd began to murmur about gravitational manipulation and temporal perception, but Marcus was simply doing what humans had always done, adapting. Finally, the championship match arrived. Gorthak entered the arena to thunderous approval from the Korath delegation. Marcus walked into suspicious silence. You have impressed many today, human, Gorthak acknowledged. But I am not like the others. I am the perfect warrior, evolved through centuries of combat. Your tricks will not work on me. I'm not using tricks, Marcus replied quietly. I'm just being human. The battle began. Gorthak attacked with devastating force, his 4 arms moving in complex patterns designed to overwhelm any opponent. His claws carved through the air with killing precision. His roar shook the crystalline walls. But Marcus wasn't there. He flowed around Gorthak's attacks like water, striking pressure points, joint connections, and nerve clusters that shouldn't have existed on the alien anatomy, but somehow did. Where other species had evolved specialized adaptations, humans had evolved adaptability itself. The crowd watched in growing amazement as the undefeatable champion began to slow, to stumble, to show signs of confusion. Marcus wasn't matching Gorthak's strength. He was systematically dismantling it. How? Gorthak gasped between attacks. How do you know where to strike? Because, Marcus said, ducking under a wild swing, humans don't just fight to win. We fight to understand. Every battle teaches us something about our opponent. Every victory comes from learning, not just strength. The end came suddenly. Gorthak, driven by frustration, overextended himself in a massive four-armed strike intended to crush Marcus entirely. The human stepped into the attack instead of away, moving past the claws to place a single palm against Gorthak's chest. The Korath champion froze. His eyes widened. Then slowly he toppled backward like a falling mountain. Marcus stood over the fallen champion, breathing heavily but victorious. The arena erupted in chaos, some species cheering, others protesting, most simply staring in disbelief. Chancellor Vorthak's voice cut through the noise. How did you defeat him with a single touch? Marcus looked up at the Chancellor, then around at the thousands of alien faces staring down at him. I learned where his heart was, he said simply, and I asked it to stop. The tournament didn't just end that day, it was permanently disbanded. Within a standard galactic year, 17 species had requested human combat instructors. The Arena of Eternal Champions was converted into the Academy of Adaptive Warfare, with Marcus as its first director. Because the galaxy had learned something that day, they had been training warriors. Humans had been training survivors. And sometimes survival meant knowing when to end the fight entirely. In the years that followed, the story would be told and retold across 1,000 worlds. The day a human ended 3 millennia of galactic combat not through superior strength or speed, but through the most human trait of all, the ability to find a different way.